This is a question from Andrew, who wonders what would happen if the Earth and everything on it suddenly stopped spinning, but the atmosphere retained its velocity. Well, first almost everyone would die. Then things would get interesting. At the equator, the Earth's surface moves at roughly 470 meters per second over 1,000 miles per hour relative to its axis. If the planet suddenly stopped, but the Earth didn't, the atmosphere would continue moving at that breakneck speed. For reference, supersonic speed is 343 meters per second. That means a wall of wind, stronger than any hurricane, would tear through the landscape. People living between 42 degrees north and 42 degrees south, about 85% of the world's population, would be caught in these supersonic gales. For a few minutes, the world would be a whirlwind of destruction as winds toppled buildings, uprooted trees, and turned everyday objects into lethal projectiles. Even the sturdiest structures might survive the wind, but not the debris hurled at them. Say you're in a bunker, reinforced and built to withstand 1,000-mile-per-hour winds. You might feel safe until your neighbor's less secure bunker gets torn loose and slams into yours at supersonic speeds. Further north, in places like Boston, the wind wouldn't quite reach supersonic levels, but it would still be twice as strong as the most powerful tornadoes ever recorded. Entire cities would be flattened, reduced to rubble in moments. Even in the most remote northern settlements, like Svalbard in Norway, the winds would rival the strongest tropical cyclones known to humanity. No place on Earth would be spared devastation. Yet, some would survive. Those deep underground miners, subway passengers, or people in deep shelters might escape the initial onslaught. And at the South Pole, scientists at the Amundsen Scott Research Station would find themselves untouched by the chaos. Their location, directly on the Earth's axis, means they weren't moving much to begin with. But their confusion would set in quickly, especially once they realized the sun had stopped moving across the sky. Meanwhile, at the equator, the oceans would become a frothing nightmare. The wind would tear at the surface, vaporizing water into mist, blurring the boundary between sea and air. Enormous storm systems would form as this vapor rose, likely sparking worldwide thunderstorms. And then, the waves would come, massive storm surges, a fusion of tsunamis and hurricane-driven waves, crashing onto every west-facing shore and swallowing vast stretches of land. Eventually, as the energy dissipated, a thick fog would settle over the cold ocean waters. This would normally cause global temperatures to plummet, but only on half the planet. With Earth's rotation halted, the familiar cycle of day and night would end. The sun wouldn't stop moving entirely, but it would now take a full year to complete one journey across the sky. Half the planet would endure 6 months of unrelenting daylight, scorching under the never-setting sun, while the other half would be plunged into a half-year-long night, freezing under an endless darkness. Despite everything, the moon wouldn't stop orbiting the Earth, and slowly over millennia its gravitational pull would nudge the planet back into motion. It wouldn't be the same as before, but eventually, Earth would spin again. And one day, far in the future, someone might ask once more, what if the Earth suddenly stopped rotating? Thank you, Moon. And Andrew, this is all your fault.